What if everything you believe about money is keeping you from having more of it? Most people think money is about numbers, budgets, strategies, working hard, saving more, spending less, investing wisely, simple math, right? Well, but the people who are truly abundant with money, they understand something very different. Money is energy, my friend. And like all energy, it flows towards certain frequencies and away from others. Hi, I'm Raju Panjwani, and today I want to share with you what I learned about money consciousness after leaving a high-paying Wall Street job to build my own businesses, and why your relationship with money matters more than just your financial plan. So when I was on Wall Street, I thought I understood money. I was making good money. I had a solid plan for my retirement or so-called retirement, understood the strategies, markets. I was financially sophisticated. But when I became an entrepreneur, I discovered that my relationship with money was actually holding me back. Let me explain. I had all the technical knowledge, but I was operating from scarcity, fear, and control. That's when I learned that money is energy that responds to your consciousness around it. So, what money is actually? Well, most people think of money as pieces of paper, numbers and bank accounts, or as my 8-year-old granddaughter says, Bitcoin. But it's at its core, money is a means of exchanging value between people. Someone gives you value in the form of their time, expertise, resources. You give them value back in form of money. Money is just the medium that makes this exchange possible. The amount of value you can create and receive is not limited by any external resource. It's limited by your consciousness around value, worth, and abundance. When you operate from scarcity consciousness, you believe there's only so much to go around. You think of resources as limited. You hoard them, undervalue your contributions, and sort of compete for limited opportunities. When you operate from abundance consciousness, on the other hand, you recognize that value can be created infinitely. You share freely, you price yourself appropriately, and you look for ways to create value for others. Most of us were actually raised with what I call scarcity programming around money. Think of the phrase that you probably heard all your life: money doesn't grow on trees. We can't afford that. Rich people are greedy. There's not enough to go around. And my favorite, those people are filthy rich. Rich people are filthy. Anyway, these beliefs get embedded in our consciousness and affect every financial decision you make, even when you're not aware of it. You might undercharge for your services because deep down you don't believe you deserve more. You might avoid taking financial risks because you're afraid of losing what you have. You might feel guilty about wanting more money because of what you've been taught. Is that that's selfish? But here's a fun fact. For the last 70 years on this planet, and I'm almost 70, while this world's population has tripled, the world's total wealth has increased by almost 30 times. So wealth is not a fixed pie where someone else gets less because you get more, or vice versa. Wealth is created. It can be created. So what creates abundance? Desire. Every business, every innovation, every job exists because someone desired to create something that doesn't exist or didn't exist before. Desire is not the enemy of abundance. It's what creates abundance. So when you desire more money, you're not being greedy. You're really responding to your inner drive to create more value, serve more people, have more resources to contribute to causes that you care about, things you care about. The question is not whether you should want more money. The question is, what would you do with it? How would having more resources allow you to serve others better? So when your desire for money is connected to a larger purpose, it becomes a creative force instead of just a personal greed. So think of money like water. Water flows naturally from a higher ground to lower ground. It moves easily down or into channels. It moves easily when the channels are clear, and it gets blocked when there are obstacles. Money flows towards value creation away from value distraction. Money flows towards value creation and away from value destruction. It flows towards confidence and away from desperation. It flows towards service and away from selfishness. Let me explain. When you're trying to hold on to money too tightly, you block the flow. When you're afraid to invest in yourself or your business, you create scarcity. When you undervalue what you provide, you limit what you can receive. But when you focus on creating value for others, open hands, when you invest in your own growth, when you price yourself appropriately, money flows more naturally to you. And at the root of most money problems is a worthiness issue. Deep down, many people don't believe they deserve more money than they currently have. This shows up as discomfort with raising your prices, difficulty asking for raises in your jobs, feeling guilty about financial success, or otherwise self-sabotaging when money starts flowing into you. So your external financial reality is a reflection of your internal sense of worth. Believe me, I know. If you don't believe you deserve abundance, you will unconsciously create situations that confirm that belief for you. The work is not about changing your financial strategies. It's about changing your relationship with your own value and your own worth. Let's make this practical. Before making any significant financial decision, check your energy around it. Ask yourself, am I making this decision from fear or from excitement? From scarcity or from abundance? From serving myself to serving others? See, decisions you make from high frequency energy, which we talked about last week, tend to work out better than decisions made from low frequency energy, even when the logical analysis is the same. So practice gratitude for money before it arrives, not just after. So for me, for example, I say I appreciate the business I'm building as if I'm already successful in it. I feel grateful for the clients I'm serving as if they're already engaged, even though they may not be my clients yet. This is not about pretending or positive thinking, friends. It's actually aligning my energy with what I want to create instead of focusing on what I currently have or lack. It's about aligning my energy with what I want to create instead of focusing on what I currently lack. The people I know who are most abundant with money all have one thing in common. They're focused on serving others, not just making money for themselves. So when your money motivation is service, you can actually do things differently. How can I help? How can I solve problems? How can I create value? Money becomes a natural byproduct instead of the main goal. This doesn't mean you should work for free or undervalue yourself. Of course not. It means you approach money as a tool for creating more value than as an end in itself. So let's break this cycle. If you've been operating from scarcity around money, breaking this cycle requires both inner work and outer action. The inner work is examining your beliefs about money, worth, and abundance. Think about this. Where did these beliefs come from? How are they serving you? What would you believe instead if you could choose? The outer work in taking actions that demonstrate abundance thinking. This might mean investing in your education, upskilling yourself, raising your prices, being more generous with others, or taking calculated risks on opportunities. The key here is alignment between your inner consciousness and your outer actions. In many wisdom cultures, traditions, your sense of safety, security, survival is connected to your root energy. If you know energies or centers of energy in our bodies. When this center is blocked or imbalanced, you experience fear, anxiety, scarcity around money. And when this center is clear and balanced, you feel grounded, secure, and balanced, and are able to take appropriate risks. You trust in your ability to create value and earn money. Part of that consciousness work is clearing these energetic blocks through various tools. You can look up a whole bunch of tools on Google, breath work, changing your daily thoughts, beliefs about money, and there's books written about it. But the question really is, how are you changing your money consciousness? Ultimately, money consciousness is about recognizing that money is just one form of energy exchange in a much larger system. When you're aligned with serving others, creating value, operating from abundance, money will flow naturally as part of that larger system. That's just the law of nature. The goal is not to make money the most important thing in your life. It's to have a healthy, conscious relationship with it, so it can serve your larger purposes instead of controlling your decisions day to day through fear and scarcity. I promise practical takeaways here. So let's do this. This week, before any financial decision that you make, even a small one, whether to buy coffee or invest in a course, pause and ask, am I making this decision from fear or excitement? Am I focused on what I might lose or what I might gain? Does this decision align with creating value for others? Here's another one on worthiness. Each morning for the next week, spend 2 minutes, just 2 minutes, appreciating your own value. What unique skills and perspectives do you bring to this world? And how do you make others' lives better? What would be possible if you fully believed that you deserved abundance? The other one is gratitude. Practice feeling grateful for the money and abundance that's coming to you, not just what you already have. Spend a few minutes each day appreciating your business or the job that you have as if it's already thriving, and that your income as if it's already there, where you want it to be. So it's not about pretending your current situation doesn't exist. I'm not saying that. It's about aligning your energy with what you are creating. So in closing, I'll say this. Money consciousness is not about getting rich quick or finding some secret formula for wealth. It's about developing a healthy, conscious relationship with money so that it can serve a larger purpose instead of creating stress and limitations in your life. When you shift from scarcity to abundance, that level of consciousness, from fear to service, from hoarding to flowing, money becomes a tool for creating the impact and freedom that you desire. The most financially successful people I know aren't necessarily the ones who work the hardest or have the best strategies or the smartest. They're the ones who have the clearest consciousness around value, what they're worth, and abundance, that there's no limit to creating value and wealth in the world. So if you're ready to make the shift from external financial pressure to internal financial abundance, reach out to me. The links to reach out to me are in the show notes below. Next week, I'll talk more about conflicts. Next week, I'll talk about core conflicts and emotional triggers, the unconscious patterns that sabotage even our best intentions, and how to transform them into sources of strength for you. Until then, pay attention to your energy around money. Notice when you're operating from scarcity versus abundance, and practice choosing the higher frequency, my friend. This is Raju. Stay conscious and maybe a little bit more bold.